freedom is built, legacy is birthed. You can't build the things you want to build just on vibes. You need both a foundation and a fire. Welcome back to the Quiet Impact Podcast. This is where leaders and entrepreneurs learn to amplify their presence, profit from their purpose, and lead without compromising their peace. And this episode is heart-centered. I don't know if it's for you or if it's for me. But the journey that I've gone through over the past year, what became the foundation for me, and how to live, how to anchor my days, how to move with discipline and purpose. And you'll find out why I made this shift and why this was necessary. And the second, that was a fire. It taught me how to rise, how to reprogram what was inside me and birth something greater. That's the heartbeat. That's the heartbeat of this anniversary episode. The blueprint that grounded me and the fire that launched the Introvert Achievers Network. This is me. And this is why I do a lot of the things that I do. I do them because I want others to be able to have a flashlight for the journey, to be a lighthouse so that they can find their way if they make their way to my port, and to give them some of the things that I didn't have on my leadership journey and things that I didn't have on my journey as an entrepreneur, my journey as an affiliate marketer, my journey as a community founder. A big part of what I do is to help the person I used to be with the things that I didn't have, so that they can get there faster and they can be the change in their world that they're called to be. This episode, the foundation meets the fire. Let's burn, baby. Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast, where we nurture the journey of introverts who desire to achieve greater levels of influence, income, and impact. The go-to podcast for introvert achievers just like you, seeking purpose-driven growth. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. This episode just might be a divine appointment. It just might be something that gives you exactly what you need. We're not shy, we're not timid, we're not needing to be fixed. We are an introvert, and that is your superpower. I am your host, Stephanie Oden, and this is the anniversary episode. I launched the podcast in September on International Podcast Day, September 30th. And little did I know when I set the date to launch the podcast, little did I know that on the same day was a day that I would clock out of my full-time job for the last time. I had written statements around what that would look like, and it was one of those where it was like they talk about, when you've played it over in your mind so much, it's almost like a natural step into that. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't apprehensive. I am saying it was a divine appointment, a divine alignment. I set the date for the podcast launch long before I had my last day at my full-time job and stepped into full-time entrepreneurship. And it made it quietly serendipitous. It was like starting something and ending something at the same time, with not really a roadmap, because you read all the things, but you're not really prepared for it. And I don't know that I even shared on social media this big, I left my job. I don't think I did. I don't think I shared on social that I actually, stepped away from my full-time job into full-time entrepreneurship. I've been a part-time entrepreneur for a very long time and have had great success. But I don't know. I didn't share that. Here's some things that they don't tell you in the book when they talk about going from employee to entrepreneur. Some things they don't tell you that I had to experience. And there was no way I could not experience these, right? You can't skip steps. You can't skip lessons. Like, I needed these to help move me to the next level of readiness.
And for the first month, I was a crazy woman. I still got up at the same time. I was driving. I was really still in employee mode. Except I was my own boss and I was my own crazy boss, right? Because I was staying up late at night and getting up super early in the morning because I didn't want to be late for late work and I wanted to prove that I could do this and almost like I needed to prove something to my new boss. Well, my new boss was me, but still, those are the things that were going on in my head. And my dad, who I have so much respect for, like my dad is an amazing human. I'm so grateful for him. And he doesn't say a whole lot when it comes to steps and next steps. But he said, you need to take some time and just take time. Of course, me still being the child, I'm like, I don't need no time. I need to get this thing moving. I need to make sure I'm I'm worthy of being an entrepreneur. And I didn't take that time. And what I found was I really needed a time to grieve and grieve in not in a bad way, like but grieve in that transition from one thing to another. Like you can grieve something even if you're enjoying what you're doing and you step away from it, like you can grieve still. And I didn't take that time and I kind of hit a wall and was literally heading straight in month 2 into a full out burnout and give up. And ultimately, I fired that version of myself as the boss. She just wasn't working for me. What really helped me shift was I had a great session with my coach who he has been through a transition like this in his career and extra extra uh real with me. And I think that's one of the reasons why he is my coach. He told me I needed to take 3 days and take a personal retreat. Of course, I'm thinking, okay, I can't waste money on this retreat thing. So, can I just do it at home? He was like, no, you really need a change of environment and map out what you're going to do. And you know what? Write your story. Write your story of how you want it to be. Now, it may change, but write a story about this new chapter. And I did that. I went away for 2.5 days, not that far. Actually, the room was already covered, and I wrote a book about my next season. Now, a book being, how you take those kid books where you can create your own story. That's what I did. And what that did for me was ground me, and I wasn't as spastic, and I was a little bit more coachable because I wasn't in this like freak out mode, and I could really assess where I was from a grounded space. Now, I still needed a routine. I still needed a routine because, when you work for 33 years, more than that, but full time 33 years, it's just ingrained in you some type of structure. So I knew I needed a routine. I didn't know where I was going to find one. I just knew I needed to be in this place of positive, and I didn't even know what I needed. I just knew I needed something. Almost like I spent a lot of times in manufacturing operations, and almost like a morning meeting for operations. I needed, believe it or not, it sounds crazy, but I needed a structure to give me more structure. And if you understand that part, you'll understand the first part of what I want to share with you is that the first thing I did was after I came back from my retreat, I found a community where people who got where I was going, they had the energy high and they brought it every day. Now, it was actually a phone call, old school phone call, teleconference, punch in the number, put your pen in, you listen in. And for the first I don't even know how I found them, okay? I think it was just divine guidance that I found them. And I said, you know what? It's every day at 9. I need something to do every day at 9 o'clock for a morning meeting. Let me just call in. And I plugged into this operations meeting called the Grow Rich Mastermind Call. And at the heart of this call, was a Freedom Crusaders manifesto. Remember I said I needed a foundation, like a realignment of the foundation? Like my faith is my foundation, but I needed kind of an anchoring to rally around for this new season. And on the call, they read it out loud every day, and we got a copy of it. And it wasn't just something that I heard. It became something that I lived and I strive to live for. And I want to share it with you, like give you my insights and how they apply to me. And it's still a compass for what I do when I check into what I'm doing in my Introvert Achievers Network, when I check into my business operations systems consulting, when I'm mentoring affiliate leaders. It's not fluff. It's a good foundation. Like I said, if you're here, this might just be divine alignment. So lean in. The mission is freedom through principle-centered leadership. For me, translation, freedom is not luck. It's leadership when you live it out loud. I have a definite purpose to become financially free with self-confidence to back it up. That's it. Lock and key. Purpose with confidence. One without the other, kind of a good dead paperweight. I believe in myself and in those around me, seizing every opportunity I can to practice initiative and leadership in providing service to others. Absolutely. I live this. Leadership isn't a title to me. It's how you serve. It's how I strive to serve. It's how I want to be remembered. It's how I led. I use my imagination to visualize my purpose and craft plans for its attainment. Dream it, draft it, build it. Imagination. I mix enthusiasm with my work because enthusiasm is a force that energizes my body, my mind, and my soul. Energy is contagious. Make sure that yours is worth catching. I hope you pick that up. It's contagious. Make sure yours is worth catching. I fill my heart with sincere gratitude each and every day. Gratitude, you may have heard me talk about this before, but gratitude is a cheat code, period. Period. Gratitude is a cheat code. You can't be mad and glad at the same time. And I know life is crazy, lives, but somewhere in that, find a place to be grateful, even if it's a itty bitty one thing. Find something to be grateful for. I exercise self-control to guide my actions with patience and discipline. Discipline is freedom's twin sister. Not discipline that you've done something wrong, but discipline that you'll do the things that are most important on a continuous basis. You cannot forget about discipline. I temper my desires by choosing to live within my means so I can save money, eliminate debt, and buy income producing assets. Yes, yes, yes. Assets over aesthetics. There's so many things that, even as I look around my house, there's some things I'm like, can I like sell that? Like, does somebody want to buy that? Like, what is it? What are the assets? How can I create more assets? How can I help others generate more income producing assets? How can I help others save money? How can I help others eliminate debt? And this is probably something you've heard me talk about before because I want to be in the position, money in the hands of good people do good things. Money wisely in the hands of good people do many, many more things. So that's why it aligned with me. I render more service than I'm paid for, and I know that in doing so, I will be returned even more in due time. Overflow is real. Sow more, grow more. And the goal is not to pour from an empty cup. The goal is that it will overflow. Sow more, grow more. I have a pleasing personality that is both genuine and sincere. And this is one that, I'm different. If you looked at the first episodes that I did, I think I was more, a little bit more stiff like. And now this time I got on a hat and it's okay. And you'll see why when I get to the fire part of this podcast is authenticity never goes out of style. But I won't say being inauthentic, but when you maybe have lost your authenticity because, and maybe you can relate to this, that you've lost your authenticity because you've been trying to find a way to fit in and wear somebody else's authenticity because they've been successful at what they've done. And no, I needed to find my own authenticity. And it hang on, stay with me. It gets good. I'm an accurate thinker. I know that an accurate thought is based on facts and not on hearsay or random information. Run on facts, right? Not on gossip. I concentrate by giving my undivided attention to one task at a time. To focus. I've really narrowed down the focus of how I'm serving and wanting to show up. And it's pretty simple and they all align. What I found is that has given me so much power, so much freedom, so much clarity, because I was noticing, and more narrowing is coming. Okay, like it's just as you get better, you find more ways, and what do you delegate, and how can I be more productive in my power zone? Scatter is a form of sabotage. I cooperate and mastermind harmoniously with others, believing that together we can do more. That's squad goals. I profit from failure. Now, this one was hard, but it's good. Failure is tuition. We pay it, we learn it. As an entrepreneur, nobody's going to come and say, "Oh my gosh, Stephanie, that project failed." Like you're going to get in trouble in some way. It's not. It's just a tuition. Pay it, learn it, move on. I always practice tolerance when dealing with others. Respect. Respect is currency. Respect is currency. I make the golden rule the foundation of all that I do that affects other people. Treat people like tomorrow depends on it, because really it does. It really does. You can't do it without people. You can't do it without people. I know AI is like the bee's knees, but you can't do it without people. You still need the people. I know that the long cut is the only real shortcut, and commit to putting in the time, gaining the knowledge, and doing the work required to earn my just reward. This one sat on me like a nice weighted vest, and it didn't feel like a weight. It felt comfortable because no hacks, no gimmicks, just a grind that compounds. As a promoter, I produce meaningful, hype-free marketing that matters. I don't do hype. I don't. I tried it. I don't like it. Make it matter, make it meaningful, and continuing to learn to be in that space. Like I'm still in a growth space. I believe the stairwell designed by the architect of the universe is leading somewhere great, and I strive to make my choices from this grand perspective. Like the vision is there. The climbing the steps that feel really small today, but build cathedrals tomorrow. I seek to align myself with companies, products, missions, movements, and organizations that are firmly in alignment with these principles while avoiding others that are not. Over the course of this journey, transformation year, I've had to let go of some things. And the thing that helped me let go of the things, they were good things, but I wasn't in alignment with them. They were good, like clappy things, but I wasn't in alignment with them. Alignment over applause. I will be the change I wish to see in the world. Even after I have obtained my freedom, I will continue to assist other crusaders on the path. And for me, that piece is, here's the legacy. I'm going to hand this off. This isn't just about me. It's about us. And that goes back to one of the things that I mentioned before. I want to help the person that I used to be with the problems that I've solved so that they can get where they need to go faster. That's the first manifesto that anchored me. That's the principles. That's my operations meeting that I got up for, that got me recentered. And my heart was saying, do right. And the world saying, do more. And I'm like, but do right. And when the do right lines up with the more, great things happen. So I'm going to step away. I'm going to step away for just a second. Boop, boop. I'm back. Now, you've heard me say two guiding things that, and I know it's sounding preachy, and I don't mean for it to sound preachy. I'm just finally getting my story out for this journey, this transformation year journey of how I needed to transform to be able to show up bolder and bigger for those that I'm called to serve. The Freedom Crusaders Manifesto, that was my foundation. That was my operating system in the early months of transition. It reminded me that freedom comes through principle-centered leadership. And it gave me an anchor when everything else felt new and uncertain. Yes, I've thought about it, but there's still things that you don't know until you're there. I knew it was solid. I knew it was unshakable. It aligned with my faith. But let me tell you, just the foundation alone does not birth the movement. As powerful as that manifesto is, it became a moment when I realized I just couldn't build something external. Like, I had to reprogram. I had to shift my own inner code. And that's when my undeniable era manifesto was born. It wasn't just about running the system. It was about transforming the system. It was about the becoming the person that I was intended to be. And out of that shift, out of that manifesto, the Introvert Achievers Network was born. My role as a mentor to affiliate marketers was expanded, and how I show up as a consultant, because I'm more grounded and rooted, and I got this fire, this fire after the foundation that set it off. My undeniable era manifesto. I was not born to be the loudest in the room. I was born to be anchored. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to calibrate. I do not shout for attention. I speak with conviction, and the right ears lean in. I am the quiet architect. I build movements from stillness, shape atmospheres through strategy, and whisper truths that echo louder than noise. For too long, I believed that I had to be louder to be heard. I dimmed what was divine. I shrunk what was sacred. And I carried my power like it was a secret that I wasn't allowed to enjoy. And I held the anchor for others, but didn't and couldn't allow myself to be held. But not anymore. This is my undeniable error. I will no longer over-explain to be understood. I will no longer contort to be chosen. I will no longer dilute to be digestible. I choose peace over performance, presence over perfection, and legacy over likes. I don't lead from the front to be followed. I lead from the center to awaken. Because quiet isn't weak, it's wise, it's strategic, it's transformative. I'm not here for likes. I'm here to be felt, to lead, and leave a legacy louder than noise. And if I must be the evidence that success doesn't have to scream to be powerful, then let my life be the loudest proof of all. And yes, the foundation, and then the fire. I am in my undeniable era. Like I said, I don't know if I did this podcast for you or for me. I hope that it's you are leaning in, that you're finding yourself in some of these words, that you're finding hope and encouragement. Here's what I know. I no longer ask permission to lead, to create, to shine. New wine cannot go in old vessels. I release that old programming of silence, of shrinking, of waiting for validation. And now I stand in the full frequency of who I am. Quiet, powerful, and unshakable. That's not a whisper. That's a roar without the noise. I build from the inside out. My thoughts, my words, my actions align with my purpose. That the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart would be acceptable and honoring as part of my faith witness and my marketplace ministry. I refuse to hustle for worthiness. I create from overflow. I'm both the architect and the masterpiece, the student and the teacher, the strategist and the flame. Overflow energy only, baby. Overflow energy only. No scarcity, no scraps. This is my era of undeniable presence, not by force, not by frequency, not by volume, but by vision. I rise, and in rising, I make space for others to rise with me. That is the birth cry of the Introvert Achievers Network. It's not a network, it's a movement. And those that are ready, they lean in. My manifesto was my reprogramming. It's a declaration that I will not only achieve freedom, but embody it. That I will not only succeed quietly, but I will thrive undeniably. And from this alignment, I birth communities, I birth businesses, I birth legacies that last. This is undeniable. This is the era. And this is just the beginning. I know this podcast may not be the norm, but I think I did it more for me to put it out there in the space that you can do the things that you want to do. As an entrepreneur that is a quiet achiever, as a leader that's a quiet achiever, you can do in your authenticity, in your voice, what you're called to do and stand in that place. This is undeniable. This is the era. That's the foundation. That's the fire. And this is just the beginning. Thank you. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, whether you're here to grow your affiliate income or claim your seat and your podium inside the Introvert Achievers Network. Every step we've taken together has been about building freedom from the outside and birthing something bigger on the inside. Either way, you're not just listening in, you're part of the movement. And this isn't just my era, it's also ours. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And I hope this message, although partially for me, I hope this message speaks to something inside of you that gives you a hope that you didn't have before. It gives you a hope that is rooted. It gives you a hope that sprouts up and comes through a difficult season, like that flower that comes up through the rock, and you're like, first of all, how did the seed get there? And second, how did he find that crack in the cement? And wow, isn't that a pretty flower? I look forward to you joining me on the next episode. Take care. That's it for this episode of the Quiet Impact Podcast. Thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let me know any insights that you had from this episode. I would love to hear your takeaways. Remember to head to my website, grab a copy of the Success Pillars for Quiet Achievers. It's a resource I created for you. And join us next week. Thank you for watching, listening, and subscribing. See you next time.